Yeah, so that was the thing. Alright, this is a Patreon sponsored review, which people might have already guessed at, given that this is not really a topical film to be talking about anymore. I mean, it's more or less what kind of really properly launched Brie Larson's career and like really set her in, and now she's a Marvel superhero. So yeah, let's go with that. That's tenuous. Why not? But yes, this was a Patreon sponsored review. I had not seen Room before. I didn't honestly know a ton about it. I had picked up like enough bits and pieces that I don't think I'd ever like been told the actual premise, but I think I kind of picked up what the initial premise was. And I'd heard it was very good, and I didn't doubt that, but I really wasn't prepared for what I was in for. I've said in the past that endangered and or traumatized children is difficult viewing for me. And while the movie's 4 years old at this point, I am just going to get into spoilers. Maybe not quite yet, but yeah, I guess this is a little bit of a spoiler to even say this much. Okay, but look, the character of Jack, while he's a very intelligent and strong and admirable kid, he's also been... We watch him go through situations that no 5-year-old should ever have to go through. So even coming away with the sense that he'll be okay seems like a stretch, but that he's gonna be as okay as someone who's been through that stuff can be, it was still... This was rough, folks. Like, for real. Okay. So the opening, the front half was what was really hard for me. The back half less so, because it has a very clear sort of climax point in about the middle, and then things shift, and the tail end is more of a slow come down from that high. And I've complained in other times that I've seen movies that I felt very much peaked in the middle, as opposed to like the third act where you usually stick a climax. This is one of the few cases where I can think of where it actually works and it makes sense, because for what Jack and his mother, played by Brie Larson, go through, you can't just have their situation change and be like, oh, I'm sure everything will be fine. I mean, like, you kind of have to like address what is life now, and the film takes the time to do that, and I'll give it props for that. So the film opens with Jack. He just turned 5. This long-haired little boy, and his mother, Joy, played by Brie Larson, and they live in Room. That's all Jack knows it as. There's no windows. There's a skylight. There's a door that they can't open. There's someone that Jack knows as Old Nick. Comes by every Sunday. Brings them supplies. Things like that. And on those occasions, Jack stays in basically a closet. He calls it the wardrobe. Because otherwise he sleeps in the bed with his mother. And it doesn't make immediately clear what it is that's going on. But like I said, I kind of picked it up like knowing a little bit about the film ahead of time. But it also, like, it's not a twist. It's not hiding what's going on, but it also it doesn't lay it out immediately. It lets you pick up exactly what is going on here. And I think part of the reason this was so difficult for me to watch, and also let me be clear, difficult to watch does not equal bad. There are things that shake me and make for an unpleasant viewing experience, but that doesn't make them bad. Actually, more often than not, it makes them very good at what they were trying to do. More often than not, it means they really succeeded, at least for me. This is the sort of film where if I had watched this before I had my own kid, it probably still would have had some impact. God, I mean, like, endangered and traumatized kids has actually never been easy for me to watch, even when I was a kid myself. But I know this hits me a lot harder now. And the thing is, what's really great about this is that given the situation that it's depicting, it's not sensationalized. It's not exploitative. What it actually is a very grounded story about the frustrations and the fears of parenting, heightened by the specifics of this situation. But the ins and outs of Jack and his mother, and his mother's frustrations, they are elevated by the circumstances that they're in, but her frustrations with relation to Jack, either frustrations with him or on his behalf, fears and whatnot, they're pretty universal as far as parenting goes. Needing a child to step up for something, to lay something that is very big, that is possibly more than they should be dealing with, but sometimes you have to lay out for a child, look, this is the reality of the situation. Or you love your kids to death, but they can drive you nuts sometimes. And again, everything is heightened by this situation, but it's never exploited. It's never used in a way that is distancing. It makes everything more intimate, and it makes it read much cleaner, because honestly, as far as the core emotional resonances of the film go, and at this point, like, I'm going to start getting into more specifics about what goes on in the second half and down the line. So I know I said I was going to get into spoilers before this. I'm like properly now. So if you break this thing down to its core emotional relationship essence, it's a story of a mother with a young boy who she raises on her own, and she worries about the impact of the world on him at the same time that she wants to share the world with him, and she worries that it's too much for him, but also knows that he needs it, and she needs to learn how to seek help for herself, which she doesn't really know how to do. She has a tendency to be isolationist. She needs to reconnect with her own parents. All of these are like these themes, these emotional connections and realities could have been told in a completely traditional drama about just a single mother living alone. But by putting them in room and having this be a abduction scenario, it heightens all of that, and it makes it land harder. Again, without pushing it too far, because it very easily could have done. And the performances are really amazing. I mean, from everybody, because I said it kind of peaked halfway. Halfway is when they get out and they escape. And so that is very much the climax of the story. And then there is a long, slow, how do we live from here out? And like I said, this film actually, for the fact that Jack was literally born inside this shed and has never seen the outside world, it's justified to take literally half the runtime and just show him trying to wrap his head around life and his mother trying to figure out how do things work now in terms of her life. It's an expertly done film, and it's really strong material from a writing standpoint, from a pacing standpoint. It's kind of brilliant, and especially considering how it breaks, traditional climax and denouement. If I can be pretentious for a minute. Who are you kidding? You're pretentious all the time. Anyways, it's really expertly paced, but then it's all elevated by phenomenal performances and also by the supporting cast. It is rough. This was rough viewing for me. Like, I literally had to pause it and get up and walk away for a few minutes. Not like extended periods, like for literally a minute or two. Like, I just need to, because when I'm watching Jack, when his mother's trying to explain to him what he has to do, because she realizes she can't get out. She might be able to get him out. Maybe if they can fake him being sick enough, maybe old Nick, which, if you don't know, is a slang term for the devil. Old Nick might take him to the hospital, and then that doesn't work, and then later Jack has to pretend to be dead. He's 5 years old and he has to pretend that he's dead in order to run away and escape a shed that he has been in since birth. No child should have to do that, and just watching her try to explain to him what he had to do and seeing it in her face that she knows she is putting too much on this child, but feeling that she has no choice anymore. It really connected in a way that I don't think I'll ever watch this movie again. Kind of in the same way that, I'm not sure I'll ever watch the Black Mirror episode White Christmas again, because that kind of broke me in a similar way and along a few lines. In terms of things that hit me in sort of the way that this film hit me, this was probably the most pleasant viewing experience that managed to hit that, oh God, this should never happen to a child nerve that I have. Because other things that have done it, I mentioned the Black Mirror episode or the film Under the Skin. Things like that, they do it and they leave me shaken and deeply unsettled. This one, by the end, it's uplifting and it's sweet. But for me and my emotional buttons, it is hard to watch. But it is very good. And I'm hesitant to recommend it only just because I never know. I don't use the phrase triggered for myself, and I'm hesitant to even use it in this case, but like we'll call it shorthand. There's very few things that impact me in this way, and I never know if these are things that would impact other viewers, but just on the off chance, if endangered and traumatized children is tough for you, I'm not entirely sure I'd recommend it. I wouldn't warn you off from it, but just realize what you're in for. It's very good, though. I was afraid because I knew it was so well praised that I was going to come away going, that wasn't quite all that was cracked up to be, but I think it was. So that's Room. Add that to the list of crying movies. Have you seen it? Or read the book? Because there's the book. What'd you think about it? Whatever your thoughts are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. There's a bunch of stuff down there because there's buttons, links. There's the Patreon. Obviously, there's a Patreon sponsor review. I probably wouldn't have seen this movie otherwise. Or at least I wasn't planning to. Plus, there's other links down below. You guys have been hitting the like button lately, which actually has been tangibly helping. So, much appreciated. Keep that up if you can. All sorts of stuff down there. But, I'm not going to say that you have to click it. Because at the end of the day, you're the council. I just run the meetings. And until next time, this council is adjourned.